Coming up on this episode, will you kill yourself for this cause?
It's hard to accept tragedy without blame.
He is kite.
Marcy sits in the lobby of the Great Assembly Hall, biting away at her normally well-maintained nails. Her knee bounces as her foot taps the floor, the sound filling the empty room. Behind one of the doors, a teleportation circle hums to life as Marcy shoots a hopeful glance that way, though the hope in her eyes soon fades as Minami, the dwarven receptionist, enters through the door, alone. "Sorry, hun. No sign of him yet," she says with a comforting tone as Marcy's foot resumes its tapping. Within the Shadow Veil, the party has finally reunited. After slaying the Shadow Giant, Eamon, Renestir, and Diego made their way to the Cult of Mezo, though not before Umbra, the dragon, and hundreds of Obes attacked it. Amidst the chaos, Peter managed to escape through the flames of his own fiery explosion, with everyone making it back to Wander's safe house intact, though tired. We cut to Wander explaining what she's found in Shintami's book while the party's been away. The first thing is that there's a bunch of names in the book, clearly aliases, probably the Kai and Kukari, but they're not actual names, so probably the only person who actually knows who they are is Shintami, but it's a starting point for them. Probably around 40 of them. 30 of them have a symbol that basically means complete or finished, which is, I don't know what that means, but it doesn't seem like a good sign. There's a series of necro symbols that there's a lot of them, like a lot of them. But I think with a little more time, I can figure out what ritual they would be used for. But they're definitely ritual-esque. I just have the symbols currently. What?
Do you want any help with that?
Are you good at magic?
I can figure it out.
Okay. I mean, we'll get to it when we get there. It might not even be pertinent, depending on what's going on when we're back. The last thing is there's a couple of stories written in the third person about a boy. I mean, like, definitely Shintami, but I don't know. One of them details his early life, grew up with no conventional magic ability, only able to learn ritual magic, and how useless that made him to a family who valued magic above all else. One details a multi-year span where this boy practiced and perfected rituals to reach out to any being that could give him magic. One details the night he performed that ritual and met what is referred to as a shadow that gifted him magic. Oh, yeah. So it was in the book. I forgot. And then the last one details, I say 3, I meant 4. I don't sleep much. One details the boy, now a young man, having blossomed with his newfound magic. There's 5. And the last one details the courting of a woman who seemingly hates everything about him except his money and status. It's almost like a diary-esque thing, which I don't know why it would do that. It's literally just incriminating in a way. But I guess it would take, someone of my competence to figure out everything.
Well,
but
there is something I kind of forgot to mention as well. Umbra, the class of androids that he is all for taking over people. All the Umbras can consume and take over a person's
genetic makeup.
Yeah, like everything about him. I think that's where the priest.
What's
Grim,
genetics?
Yes.
Sorry.
Came into hand. But all Umbras, depending on the number of them, have to follow the smallest number. So with Umbra being 0, all models have to follow him.
No.
Is that?
Single digits are what's important.
Single digits, okay.
The specific number he didn't elaborate on. That could be true. The lower it is, the more important. But all Android culture is a hierarchy of the number of numbers you have in your name. Single digits are the head. Double digits are below them. If you have 3 digits, you're below them, and so on and so forth. But he did not say anything about the specific lower of the single digit mattering. Could be the case. He just didn't say that or know that.
Do we still have those communication crystals
What do you mean?
from the androids?
Oh, yeah, I found that crystal, too.
So they did have one.
Yeah, I think this is where it was leading to. The Shintami.
But why would
Shintami tell us to come find him?
Because
Koi.
that I don't know.
it might not have been them? There may be many people with those crystals.
Strigoi.
But what doesn't make sense
Was
to
it
me
the
is
Strigoi?
if the android is
That's where he was.
one of theirs, the Strigoi is on the same side. Why would he want to possess it so much?
My best guess, this is still just a working guess, is that he never created the androids. He's just picking up the pieces.
The Strigoi.
Yeah, Hoivik. I'm guessing is that he found out what these can do and figured this would make the perfect body, and so he's looking for them.
Do you think that the people... Okay, so, but they had the crystal. Do you think he either acquired that, or do you think that the Akios used it as an in? And, well...
I think that was his way to communicate with his operators, I guess. Because there's still that hooded android that we don't know about.
So
are they on the same side, is what you think?
I think so.
So maybe that was... Are you saying that could have perhaps been the goal of the laboratory back in Koi? Is to make bodies to possess?
I don't think so. I think he was specifically going for Umbra's body no matter what.
So what's the point of making other androids if they're just as useless as any
if
other
he's a single digit, he can command everything else.
Something that still rings in my head. I don't know why I'm the only one they want kept alive. Is it strictly because
Wasn't everyone or Arcana?
26.
Natural 20 for a 17.
I also got a natural 20 for a 26.
Eamon's still tired. 11.
All of you saw the dragon. Pretty easy at a glance to think it is a black dragon, but it is probably an umbral dragon. Dragons native to the plane of shadow, specifically known for enjoying eating undead. Now, that doesn't mean that's why they wanted Renistir alive, but it's definitely something to ponder, especially if for whatever reason they somehow found out he has the rarest and most ancient vampire bloodline in existence in his body. But how would they have known that is the question. And is that even the case?
Isn't your god like the dragon god?
Well, yes.
Does any of his scripture mention umbral dragons? Or like evil dragons or anything of that
Isn't there
sort?
the one of the destruction? Is that a dragon?
What? Wait, what?
The chosen or the... Isn't the...
Yeah,
like
chromatic dragons are often the parallel to metallic dragons. Umbral dragons are neither of those.
Yes.
I mean, you would know umbral dragons are in a different sect of dragons that kind of fall outside the realm. They're attuned to specific planes, essentially. An umbral dragon is attuned to the Shadow Veil. The other common ones are attuned to the places of the four elements.
Maybe we should just wait and ask Lorik about that.
Well, we don't know.
Lorik.
Whatever.
When...
That's
Okay.
Lorani.
What day are we on in comparison to when the ball would have been? Because he said he'd show up right before.
Today is the fourth day of 6 days. So he would conceivably show up tomorrow.
Okay, we'd have to hold out till tomorrow if we were wanting to wait for Lorik.
It's probably for the best to get back to the mortal plane.
I will also say that was his quickest time frame. He
Yes.
said he will absolutely be there before the ball, but he does not know if that will be the soonest he would be there would be tomorrow.
It'd be nice to get back to also check on some of the people we're close to were also specifically threatened by Shintami.
Yes.
That was before all hell broke loose.
Yes, he might have had plenty of time to get back.
So, getting back in the mortal plane to at least maybe get Wander or Iridel to send a ping out.
We might.
We told Iridel to look after our people or find them if he could, but
We might have to use the Arcane Assembly as a pseudo base. It's the only fortified place.
I'm more comfortable with that than anything else.
Should we go-
Well, I
honestly.
mean, there's a lot of fortified places in the city.
Well, the only one they
that's
can
magically
trust.
fortified.
Should we go pick up that angel dude for this fight, or are we going to leave him
Yeah,
in
probably.
He's in the assembly.
No, he's
at
at
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
Well, that's probably a good thing if they went after Kier
Yes.
that he's there. So what's the plan? Sorry, we're going
I
back.
think we're going back.
Okay,
Yeah.
she'll
Well,
start working on
hold-
the rituals.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
We were told that what we needed to find was in that book.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just needed proof to say that, like, Shintami's evil. And I think we found
Yeah, this
that.
is incriminating for sure.
You don't think I'm not too good on the?
I also haven't finished whatever this ritual circle does. That's also that's the only unlocked knowledge.
Yeah,
so.
I would still keep working on that. You guys don't think
Well, do you want me to make the circle to go back, or you want me to work on that?
thoughts?
I think we should get back.
But
Yeah.
you start working on it going back. I'll take a look at that, see if I can figure anything out.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's good that we have evidence, but the idea up till now was that we would bring forth evidence at the ball and then, guards would go get him. But if the idea is that that's good for Shintami, I guess. But as far as, a Strigoi assembling an army.
Well,
He's
Can
showing a
can
book
I posit
saying,
something. Shintami, is he useful as the Stragoy's puppet anymore?
Probably not. If it has everything it needs.
And
so at this point, he's just getting back at him for.
but that's not my query. Do you think maybe that's why he wanted Umbra? Was to relieve himself of that burden?
Possibly. It's hard to tell without knowing it from the man himself. It could just be he knew resistance was futile after a certain amount of time, because he...
That's almost what I'm saying is the threat of Shintami hasn't gotten smaller, I guess. But because
relatively,
he's still...
yes.
Well, what I'm saying is the things we know for sure about him are not any smaller. He still commands all the Kari. But his supernatural, or at least if we were worried about him being the Strigoi that's no longer an issue, the only thing I'd worry about him now, if it's not going to possess him again, which we don't know for sure. I don't know why it would if it has Umbra. But the only thing we got to worry about is whatever he had before, which is the political reach and the command.
If we can use this evidence for the other heads of the family, we might be able to force his hand to turn against this thing. It's a little bit more likely than us just showing up to his house and trying to talk him out of it or trying to remove him from the situation entirely.
I mean, why wait for the ball? Yeah, if we can get
I don't know
on
if there
it
is
now.
a ball.
That's what I imagine. But like, if we can get back, and I don't see why wait.
But I don't know much about espionage or hidden messages. But do any of you think that those stories included in the book could have something hidden in between the lines?
I mean,
Wander's pretty good at finding shit.
it could also be for a Umbra model that took him over.
Wander, reading over the book, those stories you read, did you pick up any sort of inclination there could be something hidden in between the lines of those words?
Nah, they read more like something you would write down to like remember them or like cherish them, like memories of such. Which doesn't make sense for someone as calculated as Shintami might be. Like I'm saying,
And it was in the third person.
yeah. I mean, my only thought is there's a couple thoughts that if we're under the impression that Hoivik is of the line of madness or obsession, right? That symbol. And if Shintami was under his influence so long, no matter how small that was, he was wielding his magic that probably would have caused issues with him. That might be why he's doing this. It's like a thing for him to do it. So I don't think there's much there other than in the story specifically. I think the ritual thing is what I really need to figure out. But
Well, I am well versed in rituals, Peter. If you and I would like to take a look at that, maybe I can help.
That might be the other way around. You've done more rituals than I have.
Yes, but you need to translate it for me.
Could we at least do that back at the assembly?
Neck grill?
I don't know Necro.
Indrofen.
Androidian.
Yeah, I mean, that's like at least a day thing. Takes
How-
you 10 minutes to make the circle.
It only
so-
takes her 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you guys would get back before you made any.
Well, let's
really
figure
dug
out what's
into-
going on in the city before we start.
Yes,
Venice
I would
and I
agree with
can
that.
scope the city if you guys want to, once we're back, start doing that.
I think the most
And-
important thing is figuring out what the fuck's going on.
Also, the Kukari may be on our side if we can prove that Shintami was fucking around with a vampire.
2 of them are already. 3.
My assumption with
the
this
completed part
30 out
makes
of
me
40 complete is to imply that I don't know if that'll matter.
They might be.
Well,
points
was that for the
name.
Kaikari or the Kukari?
My assumption is both. He was the head of all of them.
They might
and
be
the numbers match up.
completely taken over.
She looks to Anzai, and Anzai says, "Yeah, I guess I was a special case because I was on you guys, but most of us report to him directly at some point. The problem is we're very well versed in magic, so it'd be, well, yeah, I guess it would take many, many years to control us in some way, I guess, which he's had. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's definitely a possibility.
Maybe it's not controlling.
Yeah, it's what? What is it?
Replacing.
He kind of shudders at the thought. Maybe it was a good thing I got assigned to you guys. I mean, it was definitely a good thing for the. Anyways, yeah, we should probably get back for sure.
All right.
Yeah, she finishes the circle and the floor kind of does like a whoosh and it just becomes just all shadow. And she's like,
Is it going to be like before, where there is a chance that we could just be knocked out for a couple of
no,
days?
because we're going back to the mortal plane.
Good.
I jump
Plus,
in.
there... Eager Beaver. Plus, there's a chance now that you guys have acclimated here that if we were to come back here, you guys would be good too.
Okay.
Probably if you went long enough not being here, that would be good. It doesn't matter.
I'm
Let's
cool
go.
with never doing that.
Yeah, that's fair.
We did kind of leave a burning hole in the middle of this place.
I did
Huh?
nothing.
Yeah, the cult of Mesa may no longer exist anymore.
Sweet. It's great news.
I don't know if Mesa will be killed though.
No, it's great news.
All a cult needs is a leader, my man.
Yeah, but there's not really a
We should really
supporter base.
really follow Diego. She says.
Yeah,
Anzai jumps in.
I'll jump in.
Everybody jumps in. Yeah, I mean you, like as the shadows overcome your eyes, you go through it. You just kind of blink awake, and you're all laying in Wander's kind of study area. Rit is out of his little cubby, and he is just like in the area, just like sitting here. He's now stood up though, and he's talking. What Diego Yuta came through first.
Mhm.
He was basically just here. If you guys were to come back,
He loves
the assumption
Diego.
would he would be here. So yeah, he just like nods, or they just like nod as you kind of blink awake, laying on the floor, as everyone else comes through. And you see him
Hello there.
nods. Warner gets up and is like, "So what are we?"
We need to get in contact with Iridel.
I mean, to get
Um,
upstairs and take a look around. Or
Rit says, "Irido is at the forward base.
the forward base.
Yes, there has been a. You should see it for yourself."
Okay.
Civil War.
I didn't realize
Civil
robots had
War. I didn't even know there were two
a
armies.
sense for the dramatic.
Yeah, you guys. Wander teleports out with all of you, and you guys walk outside, and all of Ward 7 is covered with a completely black magical dome.
Huh.
And
Is that good or bad?
Wander could have, I mean, definitely not good, probably.
Does it look good?
Wander could have gotten from Rit that the forward base is the Steelbrand Barracks. Which is, if you don't remember, the barracks are like right up against the plateau that goes up towards 7.
Is Rit still with us?
No, he stays down there.
Okay.
Do we get to Iridel first or
Yes.
to
Yes.
Kier? Okay.
Yeah, there is.
There's a chance Kira may be with Iridel.
Yes.
Maybe.
Either way, we need to assess the situation before we go.
I'll roll stealth. Unless someone's going to teleport
Is there
us
like
there.
open fighting in the streets?
no.
Okay.
No. From what you can gather, everything is safe. They just don't know what's going on within the sphere. Like there's no outward danger immediately out
Can
here.
you?
As you guys
We're
come
in
out,
Ward 7, though, correctly?
no, you
No.
were in Ward 6. You were
Okay.
coming out of the Arcane Assembly.
What about this ward? Is there anything?
Nope. No. Seems. I mean, there seems to be like
the streets like
less traffic.
more empty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's martial law right now.
As you guys come out of like the teleport area and into the lobby, the Dwarven secretary is there, but you also see kind of sitting very anxiously kind of in that lobby area, Marcy, and she sees you and she immediately gets up and runs and hugs you and gives you a kiss and is like, "Oh, thank God, thank God. They told me you went to another plane of existence. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I didn't know what was going on. I
Good
love
to see
you.
I love you too.
Okay. I turn around and
Go back.
Is that too soon?
She gives all of you
I
hugs
did it.
as well. And Wander. Wander,
I'm
like,
sure Wander loves
is
that.
not a fan in any way. She literally just stands there like a board. She says, "Yeah, if you guys were to come, I'm supposed to take you to, well, everyone, really."
Okay.
Can you try to contact
I'll need to get to
Naito?
Oh yeah, I can do that. I thought you were going to say in Lorik.
how
no, I
likely
thought
could
that-
that be intercepted in a state like this?
I don't know.
Only one.
You rolled
Arcana?
way higher in Arcana than I did very recently.
I- There's still 17.
A -3.
I mean, the only way it just goes to whoever's wearing it. So, like, someone else could be wearing it, essentially.
Hey, Naito.
You say that?
Yeah.
You hear Shintami's voice. Hey,
What have you done with him?
welcome back.
Answer my question.
What's your question?
What have you done with him?
Who?
Naito.
Look, I have an offer.
I'm listening. Are you tired of being a puppet?
Yes.
How can I trust that you are not being manipulated by him right now?
I guess you really can't.
First answer, where's Naito and why do you have this?
I don't have Naito.
You just found this?
No. I took it. Well, technically, I did not take it. My people did.
Okay, I will... What is your deal first? Let's start there.
Want me to roll perception for you? Real quick. Something's off. He does not seem genuine. Whether it's the deal or him not having Naito, something's fishy. Doesn't seem right.
How long are you going to keep lying to me and yourself? I don't fuck around.
Fair enough. I should give you more credit.
Found out your situation after all. Seems like a lot of people overlooked that for years. So why don't we just talk straight to each other and stop beating around the bush?
Alrighty, I need your blood.
For?
I made a deal to pay it off.
Pay what off?
The deal.
With Mr. Goy?
Who in your order is coming?
That doesn't matter.
I thought we were being straight with each other.
Someone is coming from my order.
The head?
Could
or
be.
underlings?
Could be. Either one.
Well, if you'd like to talk again, you know how to reach me.
And you don't think that he'll just betray you again? You serve no purpose to him anymore. He's got what he's wanted.
That's what you think.
So we have something he needs.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Well, I can tell you this. Not going to tip my entire hand. Not the best at lying, but I'm good at withholding information. We definitely have the means to kill him. Your master, as it were. And I assure you that when whoever comes, that the person who holds your bindings will be wiped from the face of this earth.
So you lit the lantern?
I don't respond.
Good to know. Interesting.
You lived in the city your entire life, no?
Yes.
Are you so callous you would like to see it fall like this?
I do not see this as a fall.
Trust me as somebody who is very well aware of vampires. But you don't have the complete picture. He'd never tell you.
Well, Sir Renestier, if you would like Kite to remain alive, contact me within a day about how you and me can have a little face-to-face.
It's not very friendly.
No response.
He has Kite.
Who?
He has Kite?
Shintami?
Yes.
How do you know?
That wasn't Naito.
Did we hear everything you said out loud? Or does
No,
he
it was
have
in
to-
my ear.
Or no, I mean you. Do we hear everything that you said?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys would have.
I didn't remember if it was like telepathic or if it was verbal.
Yeah, it's
No, you
telepathic.
have to speak.
The coughing,
No.
yeah,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
You
we're
have to
good.
speak out loud.
So
Yeah.
we heard a lot of it. but-
Yeah, I mean, you guys would have caught on pretty immediately that something was up from the tone of Ernestine's
What does
voice
he
and
want
talking.
in return?
Wait, how do you know he has Kite?
He said so, which could be lying. He wants my blood.
For what?
I'm assuming it probably has something to do with that ritual. It's what the Strigoi needs.
So he wants the Nosferatu blood.
Yes. I'm assuming this would make some sort of, I don't know, complete vampire or something.
Another
Why didn't he
thing
go
that
after the Velarana?
rings alarm
He might
bells.
have already had.
He seemed aware of your order. Very, very few people are aware of your order on purpose. That's like why you operate around. The order
And
vicar is not.
That they're showing up.
Yeah. Although to be fair, that could be less concrete information. It's sometimes it's safe to assume you have an order of vampire slayers. One of them's in the city. They probably called for backup. That could be the thing. He might not have concrete evidence, but yeah, that alone is just like how would he have known?
Maybe he's...
Marcy, where are you supposed to take us?
The Steelbrand Barracks.
Okay, sorry.
Do we need a detour?
It seems that he might have wanted all 3 bloods of the ancient vampires' families. It would make a lot of sense why he was interested in the Vedlorana, and it makes a lot of sense why he'd be interested in us. I don't know what this could accomplish, and maybe that is what the ritual will achieve. All I know is we can't make this deal
Did he
need
give you any
answers.
kind of time
tomorrow.
or what?
Yeah, he
Kills
basically
kite?
said get in contact within a day. Yeah.
We have to talk to our companions about this
Yes.
before we say anything concrete.
And find out what the fuck happened.
We need to know what's going on.
Yeah, I
Marcy,
can
can
fill
you
you
give
in-
us a brief on the way over?
A little bit, yeah. I got contacted. Sorry, my dad or my mom did. I don't remember. It's not important. By Eardell, I believe, to get out of Ward 7. We got out, and then it was covered in that dark dome. Everyone kind of out here has convened together. Eardell, General Bulk, Father Croggreen. God damn it, what is that cat folk's name that I never remember? The head of the Merchants Guild
Meow meow.
at the Steelbrand Barracks trying to figure out what's going on. I don't really know what's happening. All I know is that it's probably pretty competent magic if the Arcane Assembly hasn't been able to break through yet. Wander's like, she kind of looks to the 4 of you and she's like, if the same magic and Shintami does made that, which I assume it did, these sigils could help break that, for one.
Does it go all the way even under?
Yeah, Marcy would nod. Yeah. First thing dwarves did was, well, you can kind of see the whatever. Yeah, it's a sphere. But yeah, she takes you to the Steelbrand Barracks. It's about an hour and a half walk, 2 hours. And yeah, I mean, it is bustling in Ward 4, people coming in and out. You probably pass by at a certain point, just like a little makeshift like food area, and you see Kier stewing a pot and like giving out food to people and such.
Oh, thank God.
He probably wouldn't clock you because he's very busy in town, but you do see him. You like pat. There's a whole crowd in front of him, so you can't really. There's a bunch of people helping him. He's like helping feed people and such.
I wouldn't stop now that I know he's safe.
Yeah, but you do see Kier, and he is wearing Asdriel. Weird way to put it, but he has the necklace that Asdriel turns into around his neck.
Has the Great Ostas been active in any of this at all?
Yeah, he's on the. This is the main one, but there's also in Ward 1 a place and in Ward 2 a place, just in case like something happens on either side.
Yeah.
I think the Arcane Assembly made teleportation circles so they can travel between the 3 quickly.
Okay.
But yeah, he's kind of like heading up the one in Ward 2. Some of the cartel are heading up the one in Ward 1.
God, it's fucking wild. I left and the city was normal.
Yeah.
We left and the city was somewhat normal.
We left and it was getting less and less normal as time went on, but
Wasn't everyone roll perception?
Jesus, dude. Roll a lot of these today. Another nat 20.
Damn.
Yeah.
8.
5 for a total of 12.
8.
Renisteer and Diego. Just a fuck ton of Magnificent Marvel Ratboy merch.
I'm glad
Every so often there's a couple stalls and stuff, and there's every so often you'll catch a conversation about people talking about it as if like it's a focal point of like what is going on. It's like it gives you the idea, the vibe of like this is something that the common folk are rallying behind, even if the like people above them are like not rallying behind it. So yeah,
It's a man of the people.
I'm really glad I'm just like naturally just like
unaware of it. Yeah,
yeah.
not looking for it.
I like to imagine he noticed. He's just blocking it out.
my brain is just shutting it off.
Yeah.
Like,
The
I literally
trauma's
can't
locked
see it,
away.
yeah.
Yeah, but so northeast corner Ward 4 is Steelbrand Barracks. It's a walled compound taking up several city blocks. Inside, there's basically everything. A bunch of craftsmen, places for craftsmen, living quarters, training grounds. A lot of it seems to be like have been repurposed. Like a blacksmith place has now been turned into enchanting place for some people at the Arcane Assembly, blah, blah, blah. Once you get there, super quickly, you are taken to that kind of war room that you talk to General Bulk in, Renisteer, and you see the 4 heads there. Father Coggreen. God, I need to find this catfolk's name. I know it's somewhere. But yeah, Eardo, Father Coggreen, General Bulk, the catfolk. Fucking finally. Sevestin Goldhammer is her name.
Oh, no.
That makes sense.
She does have a golden hammer, which is the mark of the head of the Merchants Guild. I think she's the only one I haven't described either.
Yes.
So she's a catfolk with white fur dotted with splotches of soot, grease, and dirt. Numerous solar slaps with all manner of tools clasped to them cover her person. A hammer with a golden mallet plaidly described on her hip, and black strapped goggles over kind of on her forehead. That's her. Do you guys need me to describe any of the other 3?
No.
Okay.
Do not care what they look like.
They are blurs to me anyway.
I'm glad that it's not that you remember, it's that you don't give a fuck about what they look like. But yeah, they're all there. They're talking about things. There's stuff splayed out in front of them. It looks to be like magic sigil stuff, and Iridel appears to be like talking about how one goes about breaking down a barrier like this. And you all come in. Marcy like gives you a quick hug and is like, I'll talk to you after this.
Okay, where are you and your family staying?
I'll just wait by the gate.
Okay.
For you. But yeah, she goes, you all come in. Iridel kind of looks to all of you. Everyone kind of like greets you with a nod. Iridel says, welcome home.
Looks a little different.
Yes.
What of...
Have a seat.
Yeah, as I'd sit down, I'd be like, what of the other 2 families?
What do you mean?
The Taos and...
The Nokis.
In there, I assume. He points towards the general direction of the barrier.
They're all in Ward 7.
I see.
Renistia, do you have to attune to that thing that speaks to the Tao?
Yeah, he has to invest in it. Yeah, every morning. Yes.
Perceivably, someone else could talk. Perhaps it's best we explain.
Would you just throwing that out there? Would you mind if I talk to him next time?
Sure, but first we must decide what must be done with that situation.
Correct.
Shintami has made contact with us. He is on the side of, as you might have been filled in, he's on the side of the Strigoi that has been puppeteering a lot of what has been going on here.
I think it may be faster if you just tell us what you know, and we'll fill in what we know.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of stuff.
Barrier was erected around all of Wood 7.
That's all you know?
Nothing has
They don't know
since.
anything about much vampires other than the ones we've
So we're
helped
starting
them with.
from scratch here.
Yeah, so we would just...
I mean, Eardale has told everyone has been informed about a Strigoi as well. They just like don't know any of the like actual concrete stuff.
Let's
like that
tell-
Tommy's behind it, and then the only other thing they would note is that the
They might have heard that Shintami's behind it.
We definitely said that around here.
well, yeah, they don't have confirmation.
Could I roll
Yeah,
diplomacy?
100%.
But there are a
There-
lot of rumors that Shintami's
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only other thing they bring up is the Magnificent Marvel and Rat Boy thing.
Could
That's kinda
I-
like spreading like wildfire?
roll diplomacy to just retell those stories from the book in a more concrete, like linear way.
Yeah, for sure.
Essentially, just be like, "Here's what we know about Shintami. We know this for a fact. We have the
Yeah.
You
evidence."
can also just show the book too.
Yeah, I mean it's
They
all in
can't
Necro
yeah,
though,
yeah.
so is the issue.
I will
And
translate the book.
it's not just for
Yeah, go ahead,
Weird
roll
either.
diplomacy.
29,
Yeah, I mean they take
and
it all
that's
in.
why we think he is making some demands that he's made recently.
Yeah, it's all but confirmed. He is needing the blood of... Well, I figured in these times it's best to be transparent. I myself am a vampire.
Oh, Dampier.
What?
Be specific. I pull out my
Dampier, but
no one.
My
no one
nunchucks.
reacted that way.
my order
Yeah.
is specifically created to hunt down undead. It is a order that very much cares about the living. However, we come from an ancient bloodline that Shintami is interested in taking. As of right now, the leader of my order is on his way here. He is the vampire of which this blood comes from.
Yeah, Iridel would chime in and be like, I told them he was
Okay.
on his way. I didn't give them all of the details, but
As of right now, he is both our biggest ally, but also the biggest risk of being here. As whatever they're planning, it needs either mine or his blood. I'm assuming if they were to get his blood, whatever they are planning would be more potent.
Eardo says, if I know anything about Lark, he is willing to take that risk.
I agree that it would probably be more of a benefit for him to be here, especially since he can fill in the gaps I do not have. As of right now, I will leave this up to my companions real quick. Do we tell them about our friend?
It's a bit late to be keeping secrets, lad, says Father Cargreen.
No, they need to know.
We came across an android artifact. If you are not aware of what that is, it is a life made of machine. And from Peter's blood, a new life form, one that has existed, but a new life form was made from it. He was a very naive, you probably, if you were around us long enough, you probably saw him. He was the very dark-furred rat with us.
Rat folk.
Yes. But in the process of us trying to find incriminating evidence towards the Akio family, he was captured and is now being controlled by the Vetlerana. Or Strigoi, sorry. There's a lot of vampires, man. Come on.
Eardo says, controlled or
Possessed.
Possessed.
Gotcha.
And he has near unlimited capacity.
Yes, it can learn at an extremely fast rate. Although this is both a negative and a potential positive, as androids do not typically function the same way we do. They have a lot of functions and commands. There is a slight possibility, inconclusive, that we could reset his faculties, if you will, to return him to his previous state. That's not something we're unfortunately banking on, but it might also be the best option considering the combined power of Umbra and this Strigoi is going to be very difficult to deal with.
If we can't cancel a possession, he has to die.
Yeah, I mean, they all are in agreement, for sure.
There was a series of words in Androphen that seemed to pause him before he was possessed. They may be of use yet. I'm not sure, though.
We also have this.
But I will give those to you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they take them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They also clarify, is this something to be distributed to like everyone or to them?
As of right now, I believe it's something that we should keep to ourselves until we form
a plan?
Yes,
okay.
A strategy.
We also have this, and I pull out the lamp. I'm sure that Iridella, but it is now fully operational.
They all nod, and like there's a bit of spark in all of them, as they were probably informed that getting that lit was one of the only ways to kill the Strigoi, if that was what they were dealing with. So, yeah.
The Strigoi also has access to the Shadow Plane, or the Shadow Veil. Hopefully, we've kind of curtailed the support base there, so depending how many things he's already brought through or whatever, might have negated that, but I'm not too sure.
General Bulk speaks up, and he says, knowing what we know, we should evacuate the city.
Where would they go?
Outside the walls, at least. Presumably when that barrier comes down on our doing or theirs, there will be a fight.
I do want to throw this out there because this is... I don't think it would come to this, but Umbra does have a self-destruct capability.
That
A quite large one, if
that
I
should be
remember
last resort.
correctly.
I'm not saying we activate it. I'm just letting them know that it's something that could be activated if the Strigoi was put into a corner and there was no way out.
And if the
destroy
body
it.
goes, the Strigoi is
Yes,
not
but if it was going to
capturable.
die anyway.
Might take
No,
us
I know.
out.
That's what I'm saying is like, if the body goes, that doesn't kill the Strigoi.
The cat folk speaks up. She says, "What kind of damage are we talking about?"
The entire city's gone.
No, a mile,
Oh, mile.
like a ward. Would
Yeah,
be.
that's a good size. The
a
entire
whole
city.
ward is gone.
I'm bad at
Yeah,
distance.
it'd be like a good chunk of a ward, like a majority of a ward. Yeah, not like half a ward.
Man, I really did not know.
It's a
how big this
huge
was.
city.
Yeah. It's like one ward is one city in some places. This is I think I said in the very beginning. This is maybe the second, third biggest city in the mortal plane. Yeah.
A good chunk of a ward would be leveled and gone, and everyone in it.
So, in the grand scheme of things, getting the Strigoi out of Umbra is the ideal situation, but the less likely, I'm afraid.
So anyone who's close.
Oh, is this activated? She says.
Through the chest.
We don't know.
That's about all we know.
Mostly through a choice, I believe.
We've seen we've seen a previous edition of it go off.
Yeah, and he also when he was introduced if he should self-destruct or do it, he acted like he was going to shove his hand into his core.
Just a scar on my head from the last time I got launched into a tree from like this.
If possible, avoid stabbing him in the heart, or where the heart would be.
How you typically kill a vampire. Don't
I mean,
do
you
that.
guys would be aware that that's not something you do on accident. It has to be very deliberate and done in a way. You don't like accidentally stab him through the chest and he blows up.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if this might be more used to those of the magical abilities. The Strigoi's name is Hoivik.
They all nod.
Are we aware of the whereabouts of out of game? I forget his name. Shintami's boy.
Akagi.
Are we aware of the whereabouts of Akagi? He was not in Ward 7 last we saw him. I guess that might have been Ward 7. We were running really quickly.
It looked like he went back towards 7 where you guys
Yeah, I
were
figured he was
leaving
going
Ward
to. Just didn't know if he made it there before the barrier.
7. No, I mean, no, they would not.
Well, not that we should get ahead of ourselves, but if the dust does settle from this, he should be given at least some kind of fighting chance. He's the one that got us the evidence we need against his father.
But we don't know if he's done anything wrong yet, do we?
Yeah, I think we're well past
No,
evidence.
but if we're going against the family as a whole, I would just say if the dust settles and
I think we're well past needing evidence.
Yes, that brings us to the most pertinent
just
piece
saying
of
he
info.
tried to help.
Yes, I think that the main culprit here is Shintami. I don't believe, based off everything that we know, that the rest of the family was involved. Based on these stories in this book, it would appear even his own spouse may have hated him. But ultimately, that leads us to the time crunch that we have. When I came out, I was previously in contact with Naito Tao. He suspected that Shintami may be something not natural. And when I came back, it was Shintami who answered on this, and I pull out the communication device.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, he has a prominent merchant in the city, Kite, captured, and he is threatening to potentially kill him.
Glad he got all of Ward 7 captured currently.
Yes. And with that being said, the ultimatum is that I am supposed to meet with him, assumedly, to get my blood. I can't let that happen. But I would hate to see one of our strongest companions killed.
General Bulk says, "You all have done a great deal for us, but our top priority as a city is the Noki family.
I understand.
We all have personal ties, but if they go down, it leaves the entire city as a whole open to outsiders. Not getting ahead of ourselves in terms of dealing with looking ahead, so to speak, but one merchant is not the price of the stability of an entire nation."
I am afraid I am inclined to agree. As much as that pains me to say.
Do you still have contact with Akida at all? I say to Iredell.
Who's Akida?
The bald professor lady, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yes.
If she could, I mean, she has very, very powerful mental magic. If she could perhaps lend her abilities when it comes time to perhaps work on the mind of one of our opponents, that might be a very useful ally. Obviously, it's up to her. I know that might not be on her list of wants to do, but with someone that powerful, it might be.
Yes, every able-bodied fighter will be fighting.
Yeah. I mean, more specifically towards not any sort of underlings that come through, but perhaps the one.
The Strigoi?
Yes. Just an
She
idea.
is good with enchanting magic. I would not think she would last long in a straight-up fight.
I mean, none of us would, but
All of you would last much longer than her when it comes to a straight-up fight. Of course, who comes in?
Is there any way to get like divination magic inside the circle, or is it complete block that as well?
Yeah, it's blocked.
could she use her magic to communicate with anybody on the inside, or is that what the barrier stops as well?
I mean, the necklace is able to. Does that mean that Shintami's outside the barrier?
No, Wander. No. However,
Wait, you were here this whole time.
Yeah,
that is
been
impressive.
It probably means that the barrier is Shintami's doing, and he can allow certain things through or not. She goes back to sleep.
What, so aggressively falling asleep, too.
No wonder she sleeps so much. She might have a major
Yeah, every time she
concussion.
wakes up, she got a giant welt on her forehead from
Has
just
severe
baseball.
Like
brain
the
damage.
spiral notebook prints you get falling asleep at school.
But yeah,
You really shouldn't sleep with a concussion.
Iredell would second that, in that would imply that the barrier is 100% Shintami's doing if he can like control that.
Iredell, I would like you, unless you already have recently, check to see how far Lark is away. Ideally, he
Tomorrow morning.
Good.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
There's like 5 NPCs in this interaction.
Is there anything else we need to talk about, or just we need to
I think we need to
start figuring out that book?
figure out the book, and we can come up with a strategy from there. If that is going to help us, A, know their plans, and B, take down that veil.
It'd be great to take down a part of the veil.
Anything that can get us in is a victory in my book.
We can do it, but we can't do anything until we evacuate the city, which could take days. It's a huge city. So getting people evacuated, if that's the top priority.
We've been preparing. General Bulk says it shouldn't take... It might be a rush job, but we could have it done by tomorrow.
We should begin the evacuations as soon as possible.
Okay, yeah.
Both,
'Cause-
something else of note, both the Kari, obviously they're with the Akio family. We've reason to believe they could potentially be, the vast majority of them, about 30 out of 40, could be androids themselves.
Sorry. It's just like you were talking vague and then you gave very specific numbers, and that's just funny to me, Jack. Yeah. Yeah, they nod. Yes. Okay.
We do have one that is turned,
Not an android,
not an
a
android.
Kari.
Oh, yeah, Anzai. He wouldn't have came here. He would have stopped off at some point.
He's just
It's not
like
important enough for
awkwardly
this game.
standing next to
Yeah,
Mercy.
yeah.
He
like,
found a
so are
fighting
you like
yeah. So you
single?
and Eamon, huh?
so okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And none of the noble families, any of their members made it out of Ward 7.
So shake their head. Iredell says I sent word, but I believe the only ones I warned in Ward 7 that made it out were the Sarmons.
Perhaps I'm speaking out of turn as I look to this table full of people with like way more experience.
Yeah, these are the four. These are 4 of the 5 people that run the city.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I know my place also. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even among the party, I don't know much about like war stuff or fighting stuff. But it's like, as you said, we should prepare for perhaps a larger scale fight should the barrier come down and all hell break loose. But if at all possible, getting open part of it to let maybe a smaller group inside. I know it's more risky because they could just close it behind us and things could go bad. But why risk an all-out war? Because maybe I'm just filling in the gaps everyone else already knows, but we can assume the Strigoi still needs Shintami for something if it could just accomplish all its goals without him. I don't know why it would go to so much trouble. So if we can get to Shintami, even perhaps use him in a way, as in mental magic or something, to where he is no longer functioning as the piece that he currently is, which I don't know how to stop that. Maybe that's impossible. Who knows? I'm just saying, if it has to be an all-out fight, I just nod to General Bulk. I'm like, I know you guys know how to handle that, and I'm sure we could do okay, but...
I think we know what the final piece is. That's me and Lorik. That's why they're trying this ploy with Kite. I think outside of that, the Akio family is essentially nothing anymore to him.
Then why use him?
I agree with Eamon. There's still so many curiosities, but...
If all they needed was you, why not drop the barrier and come after you right now?
Because we have everyone here. If he can get me in there himself by holding one of
Exactly.
our people hostage, he can just make us come to his playing
And
field.
if we can get one of his
we do
people
also
hostage.
have everybody here.
You both talked at the same time. I have no idea what you said.
Well, I was just trying to say in the beginning, if we can go after the one that is still being used, that's not useless anymore, maybe we can spare a lot of bloodshed.
Yes,
If it's inevitable, it's inevitable, but...
I don't know. It would be strategic to attack us at this moment, wouldn't it? I mean, we do have everyone here, but we do have all of our civilians here.
Yeah, General Bulk kind of like let you guys talk, and he speaks up. He says, yes, they're stalling most likely, or he is. We have not had a way to get through the barrier in any recent time, let alone control how small of a hole we make. If that were possible, with all of the unknowns, I would consider it a suicide mission, not meaning we shouldn't take it, because as you say, the casualties could be kept infinitely smaller. You are a key piece, he looks to you, Renestier. What with your blood and the lamp, you would need to go. If the Strigoi shows up, we cannot risk having no way of truly combating it.
True.
At the same time, we risk giving him the one thing he wants.
That is true regardless of the case.
Maybe we cross that bridge when we need to.
Well, if this is going to be a suicide mission, I mean, I could also bring something else along that might deny victory.
I was going to ask you about that. Did you still want to potentially rework that plan for the ball?
Yeah,
All
Plan
the
for the
civilians
ball.
that were in Ward 7 are still there.
Yes.
I know this is more of a
Presumably.
last ditch. If
we-
things are going
if-
to fail, might as well deny victory.
This is Plan Z.
I did it kind of once already. It worked out well there.
Plus, if
There
we
was
can-
nobody but enemies there.
We cannot risk casualties.
Yes,
Within Ward
the
7.
Nokis, blah, blah, blah.
Everyone.
yeah.
Don't see why we would blow everything up for no reason.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't. Maybe we could make it specifically just big enough to affect the Akio estate.
As we just got done talking about, it might not be all the Akio, though.
I was going for more
Yeah.
you and Lorik.
Also might not be there.
What do you mean?
Like if you guys would kill yourself
I'm
to
talking.
avoid him of the
I
blood.
meant Peter.
No, he nailed
Yeah,
it.
no.
Oh, I see.
General
Like,
Bulk.
I meant like if you were going to die and
Implied.
they're going to take your blood and you're going to die anyway. I think I could figure something out where you're not going to have any blood afterwards.
There's no blood left to take.
Sunlight.
Fire gets rid of blood too.
Either way. I would-
Technically speaking.
if I'm taken off if we are taken off the board, that would ruin a lot of their plans, I think.
I just think fighting Umbra is already a suicide mission with the amount of
I agree.
bomb that can go off. So maybe don't... Like I said, I don't know anything about this stuff, but maybe don't start with mustering the troops outside the gates and try something else first.
Yes, I mean we should muster them regardless in case we need them.
I hope... Sorry, I probably wasn't... I didn't mean to speak literally. I just meant maybe an all-out battle shouldn't be plan A. We should definitely prepare for it all the same, but maybe plan A is something...
Don't think we'll be able to figure it out anyway while the thing's still up. So,
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I have faith in Iridel that his magic is more powerful than Shintami's, whether it's powered by ancient bloodlines or not.
Irido says it is not. I have not been able to get through.
It's been a couple days. We can figure it out, I'm sure.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is we do not have a lot of time. So what's everybody doing?
The book.
the book.
Yeah.
The
So
book.
you and probably Wander
Yeah.
will
Us three.
try to crack into that. Because like I said, there's a lot of sigils, so it probably won't even be assisting. If you want to go very quickly, you would each take a third.
Okay.
Well, I figured the process is him translating as much as he can.
So, yeah, you two would probably work in a pair. She would work. So yeah, that makes sense.
I
Half
would-
and half.
I would probably take as many people who know about the palace or the area that everyone is being held at, and
All
especially
of Ward 7? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, of like key spots where they could be held, where like I'm assuming since none of them are actually from the three families, it would be kind of limited, but coming
Yeah.
up with some sort of strategy of entry.
Yeah, 'cause
Best
even if we
place to
do get
break
in there,
into.
we don't know where it is.
Real quick, did we establish that Anzai has the ability to erase and like alter people's memories?
No, maybe not him specifically, but the Kari, that's a general thing they can do.
I thought he did that.
We
he
saw him do it
He did do that.
to a sleeping man.
Yeah, the orc in the cemetery.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sorry. That was not me being, that was me just being coy because I forgot that I had confirmed that he could do that. Yes. Yeah.
This sounds like a crazy plan, but we learned that our angel friend has a bit of a complex, and that's kind of keeping him from being his true angelic self. What if he didn't remember that he failed?
I assume you guys have left at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
that could work. We could also try plan A, which is that this is his redemption.
It may be worth a shot to try that.
I mean,
Yeah,
you guys
either
are going to do the book. You're war planning. I don't fit into either of those. I can.
But
If you could talk to Anzai.
I would just like to clarify. Last time you spoke to him, you were waiting on his decision whether or not he was going to be put in the lamp.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
does not know the lamp is lit.
yeah.
Any of that stuff, he does not know.
I can convey the message to him if necessary.
We have one final piece here to discuss. I have to respond by tomorrow about Kite.
Let's solve the book as fast as we can,
If we
and
can
then
move before tomorrow.
we need to have a plan before we talk to him. He gave us 24 hours to converse with him and to set something up. So let's take our time.
I mean, he has to know we're not going to take the deal. I mean, why would?
He might be banking on it, but
I mean, we've gone through. If he knows you, Rensteer, he knows all the things you've gone through.
he
and
wouldn't have offered it,
You're not going to just
unless he's-
fold.
trying to provoke us to make a desperate attempt rather than make the deal.
And yes, he could have given us a timeline to make it move the timeline up. I also think maybe by giving himself 24 hours, he did give himself more time than maybe he
find
thought he
Kite.
had. Not necessarily to find Kite, but I do think we did hurt his friend in the Shadow Veil. And maybe that, yes, I'm also taking credit
We
for that.
all did a good job.
But maybe
You guys built the bomb,
maybe
you
they
guys
need
set it
time
off.
to recoup from that
Or
assault.
he does have somebody who learns at an extremely fast pace and knows my weaknesses. They could be setting up a trap specifically that could incapacitate me.
the Kari could also still be active outside of Ward 7.
But
so
I
we
think
should be
first
careful.
things first, let's try to come up with as much of a plan as we can before we hit that 24-hour deadline.
I agree.
When you guys are done with the book, we can do that.
We'll let
we
you
can
know.
talk.
All right.
I'll go try to
What are the
find.
non-book boys doing?
I already said I'm going back to the table and discussing strategy with the other
Okay,
people.
yep.
Take Marcy with me, probably, and
Mm-hmm.
if she wants to.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't tell
She's
her.
like, no, God.
Kier? Go talk to Kier, get the necklace,
Mm-hmm.
and have a conversation with Asriel.
Okay. Let's
I
do...
would
I thought you were
bring-
going to talk to Anzai first.
I would try to talk to Anzai
Because
before that.
if Anzai
he's closer
can't
by.
like fully do that, then
He's probably never tried it on a Celestial, so he might not know.
Clarification. Do I have to be the one to activate the lamp?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
It does not work if you do not make it work.
Is it specifically me or just a very religious person, potentially with Tizetzios, maybe?
Any religious person. However, they would need to relight it.
Oh, so they couldn't use the
No.
power that I've put in it.
That power is your power. And you
Damn.
can wield it alone.
I was about to send a Cobalt on a suicide mission.
Yeah, they also have to have divine magic. That kobold could.
You want to
Gotta
get
learn-
a platinum soul.
Gotta learn
Yeah.
sometime.
Yeah, you want to smell like platinum, buddy? He just has a lantern strapped to his chest.
Am I just creating radicalized, like
Yeah.
super mega religious?
Hey, if you
I
want,
also
I can
like-
give you some bombs.
How you were like, I know it's too much to ask, but I want to save Kite. And then you're like to the kobold, will you kill yourself
Hey,
for this cause?
He interrupted my prayers. Okay.
He annoyed me that one time.
So I guess I'll stop by Anzai.
Yes. Real quick, let's do some book
Rollin'.
crackage. So you are rolling society.
Crafting?
Nope. Society, Peter.
Because it's a language.
Yes. Or
Language.
religion, but I assume society is better.
Society.
Yeah.
I
That's
got
what I figured.
27.
Live in a society.
We live in a society. You are rolling occultism, arcana, or religion.
Not esoteric lore, because that's what I use to do rituals.
Nope. Decipher writing is not recall knowledge.
But neither is casting rituals.
Correct. But this is not casting a ritual.
But it's deciphering ritual.
Yep.
All right, Aaron. God.
Hey, calm down.
I'm just saying it makes a lot of sense, but here we are. I get a plus what?
Do I give him a bonus for my 27?
No, you're doing your own thing. You are translating. He is
Oh,
deciphering the
because
writing.
it's not assisting.
Yeah, he's
That's
not
right.
assisting you.
That is a 26. Nope, 27.
Hey, we both got the same thing.
You guys are equals.
Yeah, that's
We
a
are
really good roll.
equals.
Yeah, so both of you, by the time the sun sets, you will have finished this.
Oh, shit.
The two of you.
Oh, what did Wonder get?
She got 28.
Oh, shit.
Damn you.
Yeah.
She's better than both
I will
of you.
say
No!
she has a plus 17 to Arcana.
Oh, well.
Oh.
So she was
I think she was beating you no matter what.
it was a bit of a low roll for her. Well, actually, what was it?
11.
Whatever. Anyways, Renisteer, you spend most of the day planning.
Yeah.
Amen. Anzai is completely willing. He would basically be like, I don't know if I can do that, but it's conceivable to try, I guess.
Maybe we'll try.
And yeah, you can find Kier. Kier. Amen.
Hey.
Welcome. Do you want soup? Or stew?
I can't say no.
Yeah,
Okay.
he gives you some.
That's gonna
He
hold
gives all
my
of you some?
cup.
Yeah.
Me, Marcy, and Anzai.
He kind of like pauses and there's a dour. I'm talking in Kier's voice.
kinda
Narrates.
pauses.
He kind of pauses and there's like a dour look on his face and he's like, let's run.
He's alive.
Okay.
Very much alive and well for now. I'm gonna need to borrow that necklace, please.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I take it and just put it on. And I say, "This is lovely." Are you still taking donations, or is it not the time?
Sure.
Okay, I give him a gold coin.
Okay, he takes it.
Then I just say,
Oh, sorry. He takes it.
and I would just be like, "Stay safe." Maybe they haven't gotten to you yet, but they are starting an evacuation of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So pack your things if they're not already packed. As I look at the full bowl of hot stew.
Yeah. Stew pot's coming with me.
Oh, shit. That's what I was going to do as well. Okay, no, finish your shit.
Okay.
I just remembered there's something I need to do.
Okay, yeah.
There
You need to
Um,
telepathically contact Basil.
But yeah, where
Not
you could
Basil.
like find a secluded place in the barracks if you wanted.
I'd like to go in the barracks just
Yeah,
because
somewhere out of the way.
There,
So
there could be
just
Kari anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, somewhere away. Eyes.
It's like a stone room.
Marcy would probably go after her family. She'd tell you where they're staying.
Are you sure you can see a celestial? Might be a
What?
bit of an insight into your who you are.
Okay, yeah.
Do you
I
want to
didn't
meet
know
a
that's what we were
celestial?
doing. I just kind of got the energy that this was something I should know about, but yeah.
At this point, you can know anything I know.
Okay. But yeah, you would get like a secluded basement room in one of them. Like
I say, okay,
Very
he's very
serious.
large. I promise he's not going to be hostile. I take the necklace off and
yeah.
open sesame.
There's kind of like a bit
An
of
Orin.
a dull light. And yeah, there Azrael forms in his rusted gold plate armor. He kind of like looks to all of you and nods to the two new of you.
Astriel, meet Anzai and Marcy. Perhaps you've already met Anzai. Anyway, well, for one, the lamp has been successfully lit.
He nods.
Curious though, what was your conclusion if you had come to one?
I was prepared.
I don't want to do this without your permission, so you can tell me you don't want this if it's something you don't want. My friend Anzai here, maybe, just maybe, has a way to reunite you into your old state, perhaps. Or at least maybe eliminate the bounds in your own mind that prevent you from being what you once were. And know that I would be lying if I said this is just for your sake. This is also for our sake, as far as needing help in the times to come. There's a great evil in the city, as I'm sure you already know. It is not the Vetelarana, but it is a Strigoi. And it is just as, if not more powerful than the Vetelarana that enslaved you. And it seeks to do the same to all of us. And I ask that, for that sake, you give this a shot and join the fight if you can.
Diplomacy.
Any pluses because he's my friend already?
No.
Okay.
You can make the roll because he's your friend already.
That's a 30.
If retaining my magic will help me atone, I will try anything.
Okay.
And he kind of just gets down on his knees so Anzai can like reach him.
Prepare yourself as you will.
Closes his eyes, puts his hands down.
Anzai, is there anything I can do whatsoever to give you any kind of boost or put in any sort of my energy into this whatsoever? If not, that's okay. But I have a lot of magical power to give. Horizon Thundersphere.
Is she, he points to Marcy, celestial?
No. She is a girl. What are they called?
Asimar, yeah, Asimar.
She is an Asimar. With the blood of a celestial.
You could not do much. I don't really know what use it could be, but she might be able to help.
I look to Marcy.
Yeah, she nods. She's like, yeah, sure.
Give it all you got.
Okay, yeah. He just like motions for her to place her hand on Azrael's forehead while Anzai does. A couple of minutes would go by. Beads of sweat would form on Anzai and Marcy's foreheads. This like swirling green magic kind of like pools around all three of them, and it grows not really in volume but just in luminosity more than anything over the course of probably 5 minutes, and then it kind of just like disperses. And as it disperses, instead of dispersing out, it disperses in, and it like kind of runs over all of Azrael, and the rust kind of leaves his armor. The gauntness kind of leaves his cheeks. As he opens his eyes, the light returns to his eyes as he like takes a deep breath in, as like literal celestial life has been breathed into him. Marcy drops to her knees in just like exhaustion more than anything, as does Anzai, and he stands up, Azrael, and he looks to himself and he begins to cry. Like there's no real emotion in his face, but he's crying.
I just walk up and like put my hand on his hand.
Yeah, he looks to you, and he looks to the two of them, and he says, "Thank you. I had lost myself."
I like keep my head kind of bowed and don't make eye contact as I talk to him. I don't know the rules on these things. I just got a god like 2 days ago. But
he like put your hand is on his hand, and he like removes it and he places his hand on your shoulder. It's like a big hand, right? And he says, "What do you need of me?"
I look out the window that I imagine to be there, and I see the dark barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Can you break that?
No.
Well, all right, go back to the necklace.
Yeah, go back.
What the fuck, dude?
No. Shit.
I might alone. No.
Those are one plan.
I might be of assistance, but I'm
Put
not.
him in the necklace and throw it out the window.
Well, plan B, guys.
My magic protects; it does not dispel.
That's okay. That's fine. I didn't want you to do that anyway. Well, once that does go down, and it will, many people are going to be in danger. But specifically, do you remember my lizard folk friend,
Yes.
Renister? He will need it the most. This evil is specifically, while it is after the broad populace, his blood is what is needed to complete that process. So if you could come in with us when we go in to fight this thing, do your share of fighting if you need to, but protect Renister at all costs.
While I still breathe, he will not die.
Thank you.
Also, now that I have gained my
You don't have to go back into this if you don't want
divine
to. I feel.
power, I figure it is best just to like move around, especially now that I'm like, you realize there's like a faint glow coming from him. I would stand out. I cannot die now. I will return to the heavens should I disparage.
Put in a good word for us, I guess.
We'll see you.
yes.
We'll see you there.
What
I
more-
sure hope, right?
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah, all of
Look up.
us.
We're going.
What
We're all
more-
going.
What more I was getting at is if there is a particularly dangerous job, I should be the one to do it. And if that is protecting Renister, I will do that. But if it is something else,
I mean,
Let me
can
know.
you power the lamp without going into it, or is that still the rules as far as how that goes?
I would need to.
Okay, so don't do that. But protect Renister.
Let me know. I
If
will,
for some reason he goes down and the lamp is no longer able to be used, you know what to do.
I don't think it is a quick process, but I will do my best.
Well, lots of things are happening that I don't understand, so we'll put that on the list.
It's like everything you said. He's like, no, I can't do that.
I get it. You're smarter than me. You can't die.
He'll turn into a necklace and be worn by you. Amen. But why don't you roll perception for me?
Perception 15.
Okay, cool.
Not great.
Renister, what did you had something?
I approach Iredell.
Uh-huh.
This is going to be a shot in the dark, but I figured out of anybody, he would probably care the most about Kite. Could you get a hold of Raiji for me?
I can try. Sorry. I can try.
Try.
Yeah, I was a little Scottish.
Most likely he's probably well out of range, but I figured if there's even a chance he's nearby, we should try to get him here.
I cannot. And neither can Wanda. We do not. We are not. We have never met this individual. We are not familiar with them.
It's just like Doom, where he's in the shadow.
I thought he was just gone.
Yeah, I
like,
thought he was
out
on
of
a
the
different
plane.
plane.
He's in hell, yeah.
No, but sending
Where am I?
basically, they can't communicate with someone that they aren't familiar with. Like, no. And they have never met or known about Raiji to any real capacity to do that. So running it through in your head, there's no one that comes to mind that would be of the ability to do that. And no.
Do they have to know what they look like, or just know them personally?
So it's magic. What I say is with familiar is like in recent time or have spent enough time to be considered familiar with them. All they knew of Raiji is that he was a fighter in the Coliseum. That's not enough. So yeah. You go back to strategizing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a question.
No.
Now the last of us passed. Can I feel sulfur still around?
Nope.
Still no. All right.
Yeah.
Like
I
no,
mean,
like no, he's gone dead, or
no.
just the same thing.
Yep, same thing. I mean, your best guess though is he's probably in Ward 7 and now there's a huge barrier.
They have him in a tiny chair and are waterboarding.
I would like to point out,
Talk.
He is of my blood.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't communicate, sabotage would be the name of the game.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He's crawling through the vents.
Yeah, by now he's gone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And by that I mean, obviously we kind of talked about it before, how you can tell if there's a connection there that it just won't go through. But now that you're back and you've told me that his prerogative is, if he is, as they say, behind enemy lines, to take as many of them with him as he could, yeah, there would be no connection anymore.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, if I can't communicate, take whatever I can with him.
Oh, yeah. Okay. For sure. But yeah, so no connection. Eamon, what are you doing for the rest of the day?
Probably send, talk to Marcy and see how she felt about that whole experience. Kind of debrief after that, because I haven't seen her channel a whole lot of magic before. I know she's talked about like some abilities that have come about every now and again, kind of by happenstance. But Yeah, I'd probably try to talk to her about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I guess
as you're
after it
walking.
goes back to the necklace, I'd be like, "Are you okay?" As I'm helping her up to her feet,
Yeah.
giving her a once over. Was
Yeah.
that okay?
Yeah. Just draining.
What did it feel like?
Like I had been awake for a very long time out of nowhere. Tired.
Okay, we can get you back to your family.
Yeah. Amen. As you walk with her, you kind of let her leave first. A bit of her hair in the back, she kind of like, say it's in like a bun-esque. It's almost like there's a streak of it in the bun that is now golden. Definitely wasn't there before.
Is that new? I say to her. She starts to walk away. Dude,
Huh?
your hair. I brandish my mirror in case she's a vampire,
Yeah.
but also show her the.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah,
did she
she's
not
show
show
her
up? A piece of hair.
She's like, yeah.
Can I see you? Okay.
Definitely new.
Well,
She kind of like tucks her hair in a way so it's not super visible.
keep me updated if anything else starts happening.
Yeah. Okay. She seems a little worried about it.
Yeah. Okay. Like, just come find me. Okay. Like, it's gonna be all right. Talk to your parents too.
Yeah, I don't know. They might know something about this. Maybe they don't. They didn't know a lot.
We can always keep you here underneath some like supervision that maybe does know a bit more about this kind of stuff.
Well, I think we're evacuating.
Well, I guess if this is goodbye for now, like, again.
Well, probably not yet, right?
Well, okay.
Goodbye.
I'm just gonna go, I guess.
Well, am I gonna? I won't see you again, or I guess we are evacuating, huh?
Well, if you're evacuating and I'm going on what, I guess you weren't there for that. What we're facing has, as it always has, mighty potential to be dangerous, but especially the thing we're fighting can learn indefinitely. It already knows a lot about me specifically and my companions, and its fail-safe is essentially a bomb that can level most of a ward. And I don't know if this is true anymore, but at least at one point, I definitely wished that I wasn't the one who was one of the few who could maybe handle this. But things keep falling in my lap to where I and my companions are the ones who might be able to do something about it, and I can't forego that any longer than I already have.
Yeah. She takes your hands in her hands. She like holds them in front of her. She says, "I love you. If things are dangerous, I won't be so ignorant to say to come back to me alive. But just know if you don't, I'm thankful for the time we shared together."
He looks away for a second and then just like forces his eyes to look back to hers. He's like, "I love you too. And I can't promise anything, but this is the best that things ever have been for me. Maybe ever will be." And I slowly like do the like really sad like sliding away with hands and walk away.
So you say goodbye to Marcy. You would probably still have a couple hours before decoding boys are done and you would all meet up again. I mean, you probably would have went to give the necklace to Renister because the whole thing you told him is to protect Renister. I don't know if you...
Yeah, I'll probably go try to find Minister. I know he's like working on getting a plan or like securing things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had hours, so you would have just found him. And so everyone would be there, or to explain for everyone, after a couple hours, you guys would probably go hunt down the ritual boys, the coding boys, and wander.
On the way, I guess we can do this. She's like, "Hey, I tried to get Asdriel back to his celestial form, and with the help of Marcy and Anzai, it actually worked.
Wow, wonderful.
He will help with whatever comes our way tomorrow, and his instructions and his mission is just to protect you as you're going to be the one wielding the lamp. So
Okay.
probably best that you have it."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, ritual boys. Basically, the ritual sigils could be combined into two separate sequences, each with their own effect. The first is to create an incredibly powerful magical barrier that is referred to in Necro as a black curtain, seemingly what is covering Ward 7 currently. It is incredibly powerful, yet fine-tuned to allow whoever made the curtain to freely control what can and cannot pass through it. For example, the necklace telepathy communication that Renister used to Shintami, he could be in there and still do that, presumably. With the base sigils, though, one could much more easily attempt to open the barrier. The issue is it would probably only be briefly, though, because you need to there's something akin to a ritual circle inside there that is making the curtain that would need to be getting rid of to completely dispel it. Secondly, and much more complex and a bigger and longer set of sigils, is to artificially create a tear to the shadow veil, and one that is of a decent size, big enough for multiple or big things to pass through, and shadow veil magic to pass through as well, all at once. It doesn't appear permanent, though, which is worth noting. Probably only remaining in place for a short time, but there's no real way to know that without it actually being done. Your best guess, though, is at max a day or two, though the exact time, like I said, would be pretty hard to know. Also worth noting, making this circle is incredibly complex. Even Wander is this is some of the most complex and competent ritual sigil work that she's ever seen. Making it would take days, as some rituals do, of very high complex measures and such. Yeah, that's basically what the sigils could be used for. It seems like something that is a life thesis work. Presumably Shintami has been working on this for decades.
So could that tear be created from within the shadow veil to open inside the mortal plane?
Like the other way around.
Oh, could it be done in the shadow veil?
Mm-hmm.
No, it does. No, because it specifically is an anchoring of shadow veil magic to open a tear into the mortal plane. You couldn't anchor shadow veil magic in the shadow veil because it's already there. That makes sense. So yeah, it can. The portal could probably work both ways once it's open, but it would need to be performed in the mortal plane.
So
if that is your question, or that answers your question.
Yes. So let's try to figure out what a timetable is then.
Well,
we just came back. Is it? We came back this morning.
Yeah, technically,
we haven't slept or anything yet. So we came.
You slept before you came back, though. You are on a full day's rest. Technically, it's just a day.
How
long have you been gone?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? 3 or 4 days.
Since the bubble came up, how long have we been gone?
Yeah, the bubble came up almost hours after you guys left, so it's pretty similar.
Okay.
Well, maybe not you, but the rest of you.
And a tear had to be opened for Umbra to enter the shadow veil.
That one is very basic because that's a single person. He was able to do that to me on a single spell.
Yeah, it's also it's worth noting you would be aware of this, Diego. Absolutely, that smaller things and less amount of things. The big thing about this is a lot of things at once, and shadow veil magic is brought through as well, presumably to then make those things that come through able to function here in a way that is okay for them to exist. That wouldn't. So yeah, there's ways that he could have got back and forth, and Peter says,
but it's incredibly
sent him.
It's incredibly taxing. So I'm just trying to logic out if he has started working on it to open it up, or if he needs to do it. He hasn't started. So would he be able to have a full conversation with us?
Yeah, so with many things, but ritual circles, you can take a break or whatever, right? So he could have been working on it and then just had that conversation and got right back to it.
But would it be one of those things where
he seems?
Yeah, you can see.
It's less,
I don't know. You've been running for a long time, and then
it's
you
less
stop,
that it's
take a break,
physically taxing or even mentally taxing. It's more so that something of this level is complex to the point of it's very time consuming to just put together a ritual circle of that complexity and size more than anything.
It's people who have actually done rituals before. Are the ritual circles just as vulnerable as the one that we met with the hag?
It depends. It always depends.
Will we require magic to dispel it?
That's the simplest way. Dispelling magic, if something is magical, can always be done. There's also the way they put together implies, specifically the second one implies anchoring of shadow veil magic. So there's probably physical things that anchor it that you would need to take care of.
So
you're probably not. You're probably looking at something similar to like the hag, right? Where you need to destroy something, but it might not be the ritual circle itself. It might be something involving it. There are also rituals that like require. It doesn't seem like this is one of them. At least to a large degree, it could be to a smaller degree that require like the sacrifices of like souls to teleport back. Like if you got rid of those while it was being done, that wouldn't work too. But it doesn't seem like that's this kind of thing.
So would blowing a hole open in the circle like slow it down, or disrupt it completely?
What?
Of like the actual ritual.
For which one?
For the second one.
Maybe you can't really know without like seeing it in practice.
I just got to bring less satchel charges anyway.
But so to answer your question of what you're kind of getting at is if you are probably correct to assume that there's a timetable you're working on now, because it seems like it would be like end goal. He's trying to put together this second ritual, right? You're probably very short on time if you do the math. It has been days since the Black Curtain was up. Maybe he wasn't working on it all the time, but even if he was working on it a majority of the time, he would have to be very close currently.
Okay.
But by very close, I mean if he's as competent as this like ritual stuff seems he is, at the latest tomorrow morning he would be done. At the latest.
Yeah. Well,
Technically it could happen at any
the fact
minute.
that he gave us the day timer, I think, was meant to stall us at this point.
Could be.
Okay. So
Well, Wander takes all of this and she like, I'm gonna take this to the council.
Fair enough.
Talk it over with them.
yes, explain that to them.
This might expedite what we do.
I want to try something.
Okay.
And I can commune with ghosts a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, Wander says before she leaves, before you get into that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you said that out loud actually, GM, but
No,
she says,
because it wasn't in the voice.
when I woke up in the council room, Sevastine said she had stuff for you guys. So if you could track her down at some point, just throwing that out there.
If you see her, could you send her our way?
Yeah, yep. I mean, you got I can only assume, especially with you having the lamp, that whatever the council comes up with, they'll at least want to run by you or have you be a part of, or like you will be a part of the plan at the very least. So whenever you're done here, I would just come by there actually, if that makes more sense. But
yeah,
I'll send her this way either way. Anyways, yeah. Okay, she goes off.
Okay, so this may be a stretch, but I could commune a little bit with ghosts,
Yeah, with spirits, yeah.
with spirits.
I can see them.
And I know a person that gets randomly possessed by things that shepherd said spirits to the boneyard.
Yeah, okay.
Is there a way I can try to communicate with a ghost to try to have to basically tell a psychopomp something?
And then that psychopomp.
That
could tell
psychopomp
someone-
communicates that.
Are you saying this out loud?
What?
It's not in the voice,
No.
Aaron.
No, I'm not saying it out loud.
Psychopomp.
I'll explain it. I'm just trying to,
Yeah, see if it's good.
yeah.
I would say no.
'Cause basically, I'm just trying to get a response, like even if like it's a yes or no response of like, is she alive? And
Yeah, I get that. The main thing is that like communicating with a ghost is one thing. Communicating with a ghost that then communicates with a psychopomp that then communicates with another person is like well beyond what that feat is intended for in any way, mechanically or thematically to me. So I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
That's not really something you could try.
That just reminded me of other thing.
Because there's just, but I'll explain it a little more. Because there's just no way that ghost can like get a psychopomp's attention. That's not really how psychopomps work.
yeah, I figured. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's worth asking, but I'm gonna say
even
no.
if it's a
no.
very charismatic ghost.
Yes.
What if it's one that is really hell bent on fighting people? Just Ricardo.
No.
That might be the worst ghost to send.
But yeah. So what's
You had something?
Yeah, I guess I don't know when to bring this up, but I don't even know if it's as pertinent at this point. But I know we had briefly discussed potentially talking to Ricardo
Oh yeah, why?
because he was at the lab that Umbra was.
Yeah, but he wasn't like in the lab though.
We already asked him
what?
why he was there, and he like kind of explained it, and he mostly was just like,
I don't think he did. He's just like, fight me.
we asked who he was and like why he was there. He didn't really mention anything.
I
about
will say
labs
he was
or-
adamant he wasn't dead. He is still adamant he wasn't dead. So that he's not dead. So could be something there.
I'm assuming
He doesn't seem to have all
I'm
his marbles
assuming
in the
the
right
key,
places.
the key here is that he wants a duel, and he wants a duel that's flashy, and then maybe he might talk. At least that's what I could gather. So it shouldn't be me, is what I'm saying.
It would feel like it in game though, like our characters forgot it, or like
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
like, what would be
wearing
weird to
the
do, like,
cape. He's wearing
randomly.
the cape on him. I don't
Yeah.
know why it would just be like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I completely forgot.
yeah.
It
No,
wouldn't
no.
do that.
I just don't know how we could tie it to what's happening currently
Because
right
of
now.
Umbra specifically.
Just about Umbra.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, that was that.
He's
lab
Umbra
was-
wasn't a being. By
You
the
never
time.
remembered something just out of the blue?
No, I just mean like at the time, like Umbra wasn't Umbra in the lab. Umbra was like a cube.
right, but we could have
Sphere.
some context of everything.
Umbra was a sphere.
I don't think there's much information to be gleaned from him.
It could be something that we do like maybe not play through, but just like before bed, quick.
Yeah, I mean, you can commune with
Just
spirits.
roll and see what happens.
He's like in
I think
your
it's worth
cave,
rolling at
and
least.
you have a ritual to draw him out. Not saying you need to, but you have enough context that you can just like, if you want, you can just make an occultism check to like run it by him and see if any like pertinent information comes out.
I mean, if you want me to, I will.
Yeah, I mean, there's no harm in trying if it leads to anything on context of.
Well, I mean, he could literally stab him.
Well, he's not going to draw him out.
Oh, gotta go.
I'm saying Diego has enough competence of just like communing with spirits. He can just like reach out and be like, "Hey, what's going on with all that?"
I was just saying, story wise, I think it makes more sense to not do this in the middle of
Well, yeah,
you discovering something with the books. Maybe wait to roll till we are like going to bed for the night or something.
I think I'm just gonna 23.
23
Okay.
occultism.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what would you? Do you have any like? What's the vibe to? I need you to roll a charisma thing to like get the information out of him because he's not. He like wants to fight you, right? So he's not. So yeah. Are you lying to him?
I don't know what I'm looking for.
Context on the lab itself. I mean, even if we know potentially who it belonged to, it's really old. So if that leads into any information on where we could get further information on, maybe this is something that would take place after everything going on. But even still, this could relate strictly to the androids, or depending on what status he was. If he was just like a crypt robber, obviously that's not going to have much context there. But if he was like a paid guard or something, having any sort of idea to point us in the direction on how we could potentially reset Umbra or anything like that. If he knows anything at all.
Do you know anything about the cave you're in?
Well, so do you want to play through it or no?
Yeah.
Okay. What cave?
You were in a cave when we found you.
Yes.
What do you remember about that cave?
A disappointing lizard.
All right. Back in the cave.
Yeah.
Beat it out of him later.
Yeah. Anyway.
You'll specifically be like, "No, I won't fight you."
I'll make it flashy if you start talking.
Do we think we need to try to break through before Lorik gets here?
You said we're on a timetable till.
And he might be stalling us before tomorrow.
If we don't go sooner, we will be dealing with Umbra and the Umbral Dragon and the Obes.
We can
Both
break
of us.
through fairly easily, right? As far as like the magical prowess we have at our
Well,
briefly, as far as.
I don't know if easily is also the term.
Well, if
it
we
would
have
be
Wander and Eardell and people that not easy, but not impossible.
To clarify, it is a
Just
check.
didn't-
It's not
just
like
didn't
guaranteed.
even mention me. That's
Yeah.
fine.
I think that we should check with them to see
You
if
never
they-
brought me the Shadow Veil.
I think we should go and check and see if everyone else is prepared, because doing things half-cocked has not been our
Well, I
strong
think-
suit recently.
I think we're only bringing a small squad in.
Well, yes, we need to clarify what they have prepared first before we commit to something like this.
And how the evacuation's going. I would say that's important as well.
Honestly, I don't think our knowledge of the evacuation really matters.
yeah,
Okay.
We
can't
have
speed that process up
There's
anymore.
nothing we
than
can do about it. We have to focus on
Still
other
just
things.
good to know, though.
Fair enough. Though, unfortunately, it won't be able to alter any of our plans.
So do you guys want to go to where the
Just
council
good to
is?
know if the citizens are okay or not.
We
that's all.
get that you want to make sure your girlfriend's
You're
okay.
the citizen guy. You're the protect the city guy, not me.
I'm trying to protect the city. There's a fucking dragon coming.
I don't care if they're out. Blow it.
Well, the dragon might be coming.
Well, maybe. He is a good alchemist.
Oh, but that fire is really hard to put out.
Even still, he could have just made enough to put it out on the dragon. The rest might still be cinders, but he might have just salvaged the dragon.
There's not a lot of alchemy stations set in the Shadow Plane.
It's Umbra, man.
I made mine out of parts from that I had in my kit and a barrel.
Yeah, but he also came
Is there any
prepared.
Is there any
Also
way he
taught
could?
Umbra everything you know.
I mean,
No,
could the dragon just walk?
No.
No.
The part is that the fire caught him,
It's
so the fire's going to spread and
Specifically
burn.
cut his left wing.
Yeah, so unless they cut off the wing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, at some point, if
Yeah, you have no guarantee that dragon is dead. I will tell you that much.
I know that.
Umbra's, as a vessel, I'm assuming, is intelligent enough to figure out that if he can't heal the dragon with the fire, he may cut his losses and keep what he can.
Not to mention, you have. He was there when you discussed this bomb in its first iteration, so he could have prepared for it, knowing you.
I don't know if he would prepared for it because the whole point was I wasn't supposed to make them.
Even still, it's hard to say what he will.
Who would this small squad be? Now that
I'm
we
assuming
mentioned
us.
it?
Well, so you, I mean, these are a lot of metaphorical. You could just go talk to the council
Can we-
and worship stuff because they kind of have the final say unless you want to go against them.
Well, we're going to
We're
guess.
making
We're
them
going to
up.
We
guess.
haven't
no,
asked
no,
permission so far. We're not
Yeah.
starting now.
We run this town.
I do think we need to discuss some things before we talk to the council.
Like,
Agreed.
First of all, I need to get some things off my chest. I look around and there's nobody else in this room.
Do you want
No.
to ring the bell?
we're in a room.
I do.
You do what?
Ring the bell.
Oh, okay.
Where are we at currently?
You're like in a makeshift workstation where they're
Oh, okay,
deciphering all
okay,
this
okay.
stuff, like a
I
barrier.
don't know why I in my head I was visualizing us right next to the barrier, just standing out in the open.
No.
I have
At an
idea why.
outdoor cafe.
I have no idea why.
I mean, the barrier.
Just talking loudly about our plans.
yeah.
How are we going to get past this thing?
yeah.
I have exactly the thing we'll do.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever say that I was saved by a dragon's tail hitting me off its back, but I do believe that is what happened today.
Wait. You were on a dragon's back?
Will you just let me talk?
I'm missing some context here.
I know. It's funnier that way. I may have been a bit rash in the events of today, and I would like to apologize for that.
I can understand your reason. It's
I don't think you fully know my reasoning.
No, but if you wanted to explain your reasoning, that might help.
Well, I just may have found something out today about myself, or last night. I can't remember.
A couple days ago.
Yeah, it was a couple days ago you found that.
A few days ago.
Not that I was there.
Also,
Yeah.
all this stuff that happened in Shadowvale was not today as well.
oh yeah, because we had to trek so fucking long. It
yeah,
feels
and
so
then
much
you took
shorter.
a full rest, and then
Yeah. Okay.
What did you learn and from who? We were in the Shadowvale.
When I was born, like we discussed, the Shadow Veil and Wakuzana are connected in a way. The space between them is the mortal plane, and Shadow Veil is much weaker in Wakuzana. As you all know, that's where I was born. Tears like the one that are going to be opened up soon do happen randomly and sporadically every now and then. And it does cause some side effects, especially on a newborn child and their mother.
Such as
Were you such a child?
Yes, I believe so. And I do believe it was because of that tear and my abilities that my mother, after she gave birth to me, she did fall ill. She survived for long enough to, thankfully, I could meet her, but not long after that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
After she passed, my father took to drinking and blamed me for her death. I obviously resented that, and I wanted to believe I had nothing to do with it, but finding out that he may have been right and I may have actually been responsible, it was a lot for me to take in one day. 2 days, 3 days, whatever it was.
Tacked on with our
And
long,
then
arduous journey and
finding out that
fatigue.
Umbra was a vampire and their plan had succeeded. I did what I knew what was wrong. You see, my father got so lost in his grief that he neglected the one person he needed to take care of. The people that actually mattered to him. And for a moment, I was there as well. I also believe that that is where Shintami is right now. That's why I've asked if I could speak to him next. I don't think I'm going to pull off a miracle and convince him to not fight at all, but I do think Shintami the man is still there somewhere, and I think that Shintami the father is... I don't think he's completely lost. And even if it's for a moment, if he could just hesitate, it may help.
True. I don't know how hopeful I am, considering how far gone he seems to accept the fact that he is a pawn in this situation and still go ahead with it. But
like I said, I don't think he's... I don't think I'm going to pull off a miracle, but I do think getting in his head, I do think that will be to our advantage.
He does still have people. He does still have people that he cares about, and whether that factors in while he is a slave to an evil power such as a Strigoi, I think it's always worth a shot. And Diego, we've all, not that makes any of it okay, but being overwhelmed by grief or doing things you know aren't right, while they are obviously by definition not right, we've all been there too. Not in the exact same scenario, but there's things we've all done that we knew weren't right in the moment, and I thank you for coming to terms with that and acknowledging it and knowing that what matters most now is doing the right thing for the ones we care about and not neglecting the ones that it's our responsibility to protect in the first place.
I will say, though, that you two do have similarities. I think, Eamon, you have come to terms with it a little bit over our travels together, but I feel as though you both blame yourself for something you had no control over. And ultimately, you were just a child brought into this world by their choice. And anything that happened involving the Shadow Veil was not due to any fault of your own. If anything, it was the Shadow Veil's fault, which is hard to blame something so not personified.
It's hard to accept tragedy without blame. Tragedy becomes easier when there's something to blame.
I can't understand. I talked to Shintami the day that Peter went missing. You remember that?
I overheard, yeah. He didn't sound like a demon, or I guess demons are real in this world, so I got to use a different
Well, I mean, that's accurate.
there, but yeah.
No, clearly just a man afraid of the choices he's made and coming to terms with it. Rather, he continues on this path that he's taken of being a being such as this. This is puppet. And unfortunately, there are many people like that who will stay subjugated till the very end, even when there's a clear way out. But
I would agree. And the other thing I would like to discuss, when I talk to him, my goal will be to get in his head and at least cause some reservations to a point where he hesitates. But I also wanted to make it feel like we have the upper hand. Do we have any other goals we need from that conversation? I want to make sure that I don't give up too much information, but I also try to gain some information. And
Did he sound like he knew a lot about androids, Minister?
there's nothing that I've gathered that would indicate that. He's not talked about it. If anything, the only connection is that...
Sorry, just real quick. Peter found in a teleportation room that went from Shintami's room to like a secret place, presumably a black crystal thing that was in the hideout of the end of season 1.
Sure.
So,
Like the same one? Or just like...
a similar one. There's no confirmation that was connected to that one. But it is the exact same technology and the exact same size and shape and stuff. So it, at the very least, is that's a connection.
Duh. Well, there is also the...
So do we think Shintami's the typing figure from...
Well,
I think Hoivik is the figure.
we also have to consider the notes that we have found about the Kukari, about them being completed. That
Okay.
may have something to do
I
with
think that's the Kaikari.
Is it?
It's.
Both?
I mean, there's no indication
The Kari.
that
Either
they're
one.
Kari
Whichever
at all. But
Kari.
numbers-wise, it would imply that there's probably about 40 Ku and Kai Kari out there in total.
Okay.
Well, if that is the case, then with that considered, there is a possibility. My only reservation is it could just be what he was ordered to do under Hoivik. So,
Does he know that... What I'm getting at is, does he know that Umbra, whether it works or not, clearly we've seen it might not work, but does he know that Umbra has some kind of shut off or reset code?
We probably have to assume that he knows whatever Umbra knows.
and if he has communication with those who made it, they could tell him if he asked.
Okay, because I can't think of another upper hand we have as
Uh,
far as, or at least one even to lie about. We
should
have a
tr-
Celestial on our side. By the way, Asriel is a back to
Oh, that worked,
full
huh?
yeah, great idea, by the way.
Good. That was
Yeah.
total bullshit.
Marcy and Onzide pulled it off. It was amazing. But yeah, he's a full-on Celestial now, and he'll be protecting Ren while we're in there. But
You should try to confirm if Hoivik is actually in this mortal realm. See if he's actually back from the shadow plane.
I would assume no. But if he is, that does
Make our job harder.
make our job harder, but also easier at the moment. Because
Yeah.
that means he's waiting for nothing. If
I feel like he'll see
I think-
anything coming.
I think at
he
this
could have
point,
came across himself and is helping to make the larger one to let some of the
I would
other creatures come through.
that is true.
Is there any pawn that we, even if we don't have it captured or them captured, like, for example, he's trying to use Kite, is there any kind of bargaining chip for him that we
think-
could even
I
perceive to
think
have,
he
or are
has
they
that.
all inside the...
And me.
It's his blood.
Yes, it's him.
You could infer that I will not be showing up and that somebody else will be handling the lamp.
Yes,
They
I
don't
have.
Just say
know-
you left the city.
They don't know that I am the only one currently
I
who
do
can handle
have.
the lamp.
I do have some thoughts for that.
I could just change your appearance.
True. But
mean-
they might be able to see through that.
If
but
he
it is
knows
worth
your
the
blood.
shot.
I do. So, did it sound like he knew where Naito was?
No. It's the way he inferred it is that he found this communicator.
So, if they don't have either of the Taos, and
We should
Then-
probably assume they do.
I think we assume they don't.
I think if that's not the case, we try to find them through
They
Iridel.
might
I
be
think-
small potatoes in the grand scheme of things to the point
My
where they,
my point is, if Kite is his only bargaining chip, then he won't kill Kite.
I think his other one would potentially be the Inoki family, since they are the...
Yes.
He's not
Leading
just
body.
trying to get to us. He's trying to get to
Yes,
whole
but we're the
council
ones
as
that
well.
he's
dealing
going to
with.
be communicating with.
I understand.
Though if we can infer that we had a man on the inside who knows everything, obviously we won't tip our hand on that regard since we wouldn't be telling him our plans anyway. But
He's also more capable, like, if he's capable to build that, I'm assuming there's a window again, sorry, nodding out to the barrier. If he's powerful enough to make that, he's powerful enough to magically communicate with whoever he wants. He's just, like, he didn't have to, like, it's not like his only way to communicate to this side of the barrier is through that little thing.
I actually wouldn't
He's
be too
choosing
sure.
to talk to you for a very
It's
specific
a
reason.
very complex ritual. That
He also
did.
has to take magic from Hoivik.
Not to
His magic's
mention-
not his own.
not to mention the
Doesn't
fact...
make it any less powerful, though.
well, he
That's
did
what I'm
have to
saying.
talk to me through this communicator. He didn't choose to.
He didn't have
communicate.
to. He didn't necessarily
That's
have
what I'm
to.
trying to
You
say
just
is-
contacted him.
Yeah, he didn't have to, so we shouldn't
Yeah.
assume that he also...
He did have to get the message across. Maybe he was banking on me trying to communicate with Naito.
You hear a knock at the door. In
Do
a
we?
voice. Yeah.
I thought the bell's on.
Yeah. Yeah. Bell's on.
We can hear outside. They
Yeah.
can't hear us.
I always thought
Yeah.
it was fucking.
No.
Cone of
Yeah.
silence.
And a voice is like, hello?
I
Did you guys leave?
unring the bell. Hello, come in.
Okay. Yeah. Opens the
Try to
door.
imagine the unringing.
Yeah.
It's Seveston, catfolk with white fur, dotted with splotches of soot, grease and dirt.
Oh, that's your name.
Numerous leather straps with all manner of tools.
Can you repeat that again?
golden-
Sorry.
What?
It's not a joke. Can you say your name again?
Seveston.
Seveston. Okay.
A golden hammer displayed on her hip, black strap goggles on her forehead. She has this like weird multi-tool thing in her right hand, almost like a screwdriver-esque kind of thing, but more medieval looking. The party has survived their trip into the Shadow Vale, though they have returned to find Wakuzana in a state of crisis. Will they be able to pierce the Black Curtain? What will become of Kite if Renistir doesn't take Shintami's deal? Will I ever be able to remember the Merchant Guild head's name? All of this and more, next time on Dying 5.
If you enjoyed today's episode, consider leaving us a review on whatever platform you listen on. We'd love to hear your feedback. And if anyone in your life just can't get enough tabletop RPG action, send them our way. If tabletops have taught me anything, it's that good stories become great ones when you have some folks to share them with. And as always, thanks for listening.